Prologue commence. Yashi was coming back from a mail station to get a weekly letter from his parents. The area is quite rural and silent. While walking, the letter gets blown out of his hands by a gust of wind into a tall tree. Being so young and barely able to use his magic properly, he struggles to get the letter from in between the leaves and branches, only being able to jump. Come on, I can barely reach it. Yashi waits for another strong gust of wind to make the branches lower. When that wind comes, he jumps and barely touches the edge of the letter. Landing on his feet, he sighs. Maybe if I'm careful, I can get it down with magic? Yashi looks behind him. Then again, I don't think any of the magic I have can get it down without destroying the tree in the process. And I don't want to get in trouble either. Along the sidewalk, not that far away. Here you are, Miss Akuma. Dea hands Akuma a magic sealed package. Thank you two so much. No problem, Miss Akuma. I'll be sure to let both of your parents know how much of a help you all have been when I get the chance. You two go along now. Have a nice day. Miss Akuma closes her front door. Dia and Kokoa walk out onto the sidewalk. Kokoa turns towards Dia. Ooh, that was fun. Well, Dia, my parents will be a little worried if I don't show my face in a bit. I know, I was going to head home as well. Kokoa grabs Dia's wrist and smiles. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Oh, yeah, okay. Kokoa lets go of Dia's wrist as she starts walking down the sidewalk waving at Dia. See you, Dia. Dia waves back. Bye, Kokoa. Dia turns around and starts walking. Multiple chariots pass her on her left. Dia stops to look at the large line of balancers. Everyone else on the street does the same. As Dia turns the corner, she notices Yashi jumping under a tree. Dia continues to walk, getting closer to Yashi without him noticing her. Dia stops next to him as Yashi lands on his feet. I might not even be able to get it back. I wonder if Nitsuka would get it down for me. Yashi looks to his right, making eye contact with Dia as she stops a few feet away. Yashi gets startled from the encounter. The two of them stare in silence as a brown leaf falls from the tree, landing in the middle of them. Whoa, how long has she been watching me? Yashi bows. Good morning. Dia chuckles. Good morning. Yashi raises, making eye contact again. Dia is smiling at him. What are you doing? Oh, Yashi blushes as he looks away. My letter, it got stuck in the tree. I was trying to get it. Dia looks up, spotting the letter dangling between the branches. Would you like some help? Yashi looks back at Dia. I don't want to be rude, but you're shorter than me. How do you plan on helping? Yashi moves from under the letter, standing next to Dia. I could get on your back. My back? Okay. Yashi moves back under the letter and crouches. Dia walks to him and puts her legs around his neck. Yashi holds onto Dia's legs as he slowly stands. Whoa, I didn't think you'd be able to pick me up. Yashi blushes. Well, my brother and sister, they train my physical body without my sustain from time to time. Cool. Dia looks up at the letter, reaching her right hand out to get it. The tip of her index finger just grazes the edge of the letter. Move back just a tiny bit. Okay. Yashi takes a tiny step back. Dia grabs the letter between her index and middle finger. I got it. Whoa. A heavy gust of wind pushes against Dia and Yashi. Dia leans forward from the pressure against her back, which causes Yashi to lose his balance. Yashi stumbles around before landing both himself and Dia in a pile of leaves next to the tree. Yashi crouches up, rubbing his side. Are you okay? Yashi turns around. Dia is nowhere to be seen. Huh? Yashi stands. Where did she go? Suddenly, the pile of leaves lifts from the ground. Yashi falls back on the ground. The leaves fall off Dia's body. Dia is rubbing the back of her head. Yeah, I'm okay. Dia looks at Yashi, and the both of them laugh. Yashi stands and reaches a hand out to Dia. Dia takes the hand, supporting her as she stands up. While Dia is dusting her skirt off, Yashi looks up at the letter. It is farther up in the tree. What? There's no way you can get it back now. Wait. Yashi looks at Dia. I can use magic? I don't want to damage the tree though. Don't worry. I have a neat trick that I've yet to tell anyone. Stand back. Yashi stands behind Dia. Okay, here I go. Dia raises her hands at the letter. A dark blue aura surrounds her hands and makes its way up to the letter. A few moments later, the letter begins to float up from in between the twigs and comes down. Open your hands. Yashi opens up his hands. The letter lands onto his hands. Oh, cool. That's advanced psychokinesis? Yup, it sure is. Wow, you must be really strong then. My mom told me that I had a lot of amazing elements for my age, but she's not going to focus heavily on me till I'm 10. Oh. Dio puts her hands down and moves closer to Yashi, touching his shoulder while looking down at the letter. What's inside the letter? It's just the letter from my parents. Your parents? Yeah, they live overseas, so they send M letters to check on me. If you don't mind me asking, when will they be coming back? I'm not sure. I just moved here a few months ago, but hopefully soon. Dia notices a frown on Yashi's face as he stares at the letter. That's good. Well, I don't mind you reading it with me, but you have to wait till Nitsuka's shop is open. Nitsuka, he's one of them M letter parlors, right? Yeah, just around the corner from here. Suppressor seals. Okay. Yashi holds the letter tightly. Thank you. No problem. After Yashi turns around, Dia taps him on the shoulder. Excuse me. Yashi turns back around. Yes? My name is Dia Keen. Could you tell me yours? Yashi Taramasu. Yashi? Almost like the first ever hero's name, right? No, it's nothing like his. Dia backs away. Yashi takes a step back. I'm sorry. Yashi quickly turns around and starts to jog away. I'll see you at Nitsuka's. Okay. A few hours pass before Nitsuka's shop is open. Yashi heads over to it after playing at a small park in the woods alone. Once he makes it to the shop, Yashi stands in the front of the door and gently opens it. He scans around the room and finds no one. As the door closes behind Yashi, a gray light flickers above him. One moment. Yashi walks up to the counter. A few seconds pass before Nitsuka is seen coming from the back. Oh, Yashi, good to see you. Good to see you too. Nitsuka looks down at Yashi's hands. Have another letter for me? Yes, sir. Well, let's get started. A few minutes later, outside the shop, Dia has just arrived. Hopefully I didn't miss him. Dia reaches for the door, but as she does, her Mongol appears in front of her. From Kokoa, urgent. Dia swipes her Mongol to answer it. Kokoa? Dia, have you seen the news? No, what happened? It's terrible. It's about Alma. It's just been forwarded out to everyone. Coco is heard sniffing and wiping her face. Dia swiftly scrolls through her Mongol till she gets to the news app. On instant discovery, Dia covers her mouth as she looks at the first picture. The picture's point of view is looking at an island from the ocean. The shot is about a 500-mile-long picture of the right side of the island. A destroyed civilization is in full view on the screen of Dia's Mongol. Tall buildings and forests are seen on fire and collapse. Several craters are scattered throughout the ground from large blasts or cannon shots. The energy dispositor that sits on Alma's capital is at an angle, broken. The destruction of Alma's energy dispositor deactivates the nation's protective barrier. The remains of particles leave a thin layer of energy above Alma's sky. All of it is destroyed. They were attacked by the Dark Army last night. Almost 100 Decipians invaded Alma. Dia continues to look through the many pictures. This is horrible. All those innocent people. I know. The conflict between Alma and the Demon King just gets worse and worse every year, and I bet Kurosi just taking advantage that the sixth generation hero is nowhere to be seen. Alma's so far away, they might not get support in time. That goes for the other Sarahs as well. If only there was some way I could help. But we're too young, and that's way too dangerous. Dia hears movement from the other side of the door. Maybe in. Wait, Cobra. I'll call you back. Okay. As Dia vanishes her Mongol, she turns to look at the door. Right after, Yashi bursts through the door and Dia falls into her bottom. Yashi? They make eye contact. Yashi is in tears. He quickly looks away and runs down the sidewalk. The M letter falls in front of Dia. The letter? Dia starts to read the letter. As she continues to read, tears start to drop from her eyes as well. His parents were in Alma. Nitsuka steps outside the door. Yashi! Looking to his right, Nitsuka sees Dia chasing after Yashi. Yashi continues to run through sadness. Dia tries to focus on him through all of the people and markets. After a minute, Dia watches Yashi take a turn into a non-colonized forest. Only knowing it to be an attraction, Dia continues to follow Yashi anyway. Dia shields her head while wiping her eyes. Now where is he going? After a while of trying to catch up to him, Dia ends up in a clearing. Yashi! Where did you go? Dia stops in the middle of the clearing. Mom told me not to, but I have no choice. Dia puts her right hand on her chest closed and the other in the air with her palm open, while also closing her eyes. Dia's aura, unseen, flourishes throughout the forest looking for Yashi's aura. There you are, nearby in Yashi's house. Are you positive, Yashi? Please tell me you're just kidding around. No, brother, sniffs and wipes eyes. I'm not. Kato sits on his bed, now being eye to eye with Yashi. Kato hugs Yashi. Yashi begins to sob and Kato's eyes start to water as well. I can't believe it. There's no way Mom and Dad could be dead. Moments later. Yashi, I'm going to be the one to tell Akuma, okay? Yashi nods. Yashi leaves the room and walks downstairs. Upon reaching the bottom, he sits on the wall that leads up the stairs and falls against the floor, covering his face. Dia stands at the open front door to the right of Yashi. Yashi? Yashi looks up to his right. Dia, you followed me? Of course I did. I feel just as much pain as you do. I'm sorry about your parents. An angry frown grows across Yashi's face as his tear-covered hands turn into fists. It's all because of Kurosi. Dia walks closer to Yashi. You're right. It will always be the Demon King's fault. Yashi stands and wipes his face. He terrorizes whoever he pleases. It's been like that for years now, and even worse since the sixth hero suddenly vanished a few months ago. Every Sarah in their right has been doing their best in trying to stop the Dark Army's movements, even Macadamia. I feel as though we need more strong Illumine users, and I'm going to be one of them. A small pause. You're not alone. I want to become stronger. Another's pause. At first, I was going to start when I got older, but this... Yashi stares at his hand as he puts it in front of him and squeezes his fist even harder. To get strong enough to avenge my parents, I'm going to have to start training seriously today. Hey! Yashi looks up at Dia. You can't just steal the spotlight like that. Huh? Dia puts a fist towards Yashi. I'm going to train just as hard to protect those who are innocent. I don't care how strong anyone might seem or how young we might be. I just can't tolerate it anymore. In our case, I guess that makes us partners, right? Yashi smiles. Yeah, for purification. They fist bump. Dia lightly grins. Interlude. Since that day, Dia and Yashi have worked together, training to improve their Liliment skills, techniques, and knowledge. Needing a better grasp at how to use their Liliments, both of them are enrolled into Gerono Magic Academy weeks later in Katniss Macadamia. At this time, Dia is at 8 years of age and Yashi is at 9 years of age. After 3 years of attending Gerono, and intense self-training, Dia and Yashi's Illilimate status had allowed them to join an Expizimus team. Finally being able to help defeat Decipients, they immediately joined a fairly new Expizimus group by the name of Ensign. After the already existing members, ages range from theirs to 10 years in advance. A year after joining Ensign and devoting their lives together, Dia and Yashi's relationship became great enough to perform a trance. This feat would allow each of them to gain stage bonuses and elements and even unlock some of their previously locked magic. Being the more combat conducive person, Dia chose to have the ability to undergo the form anytime. 2 years after their trance, Ensign was called in on a dangerous mission with 3 more Expizimus groups. Feeling as though their recent missions were too easy and their magic has greatly improved, they decided to accept the call to arms. The mission took place in Adelius Macadamia, an extremely mountainous area in Macadamia near neighboring Serra Dagona. The mission was to seek, capture, or kill 3 Decipients that had fled into the area unannounced to the Macadamian public. Days had passed as they settled in and got a few good leads onto where the Decipients may be hiding. However, on their 4th day at the time of dawn, they were ambushed by nearly a dozen Decipients at their most vulnerable. Outnumbering the Decipients 3-1, the Expizimus were able to hold their own against them. The Decipients started to withdraw as each party had lost almost half of their fighters who had their sustains. While chasing the Decipients, the 3 initial Decipients that they had been looking for appeared. The Expizimus started falling back, trying to regroup at the base. However, the Decipients managed to track them down before they were able to call backup. Everyone's lives were being threatened, with Dia being one of the most powerful fighters on the Allied side. The highest ranked Decipient was going to kill her first. This is when the hero of the 7th generation was born. Yashi had unlocked it, the first ever hero's dermal. Yashi's newfound power allowed him to stand toe-to-toe with all the Decipients alone. Although being one of the most gruesome battles Yashi's had ever had to deal with, he managed to defeat all the Decipients by himself and saved everyone in that mission with no casualties. Now possessing the dermal, Yashi preferred to stay undisclosed, meaning not letting the public know his original identity. This effect was a choice made between him and the dermal, giving him special feats alone, but also helps him maintain his life separately from the hero's life. Unfortunately, breaking this inner contract would revoke his special feats and exposing his identities to his enemies. This contract can be dealt around, such as Yashi's bond with Dia, his family, Ensign, and other special exceptions. Dia was the first to know Yashi was the hero. With every hero, there is a spawn or someone who the hero can trust 100%. Usually they meet by circumstance, or Yashi's seal that exists on the Yoshido dermal starts to glow green. Imina is an alchemist, with her sub as someone who studies the nature of magic and its capabilities. Alchemists are also the main name for anyone you would normally call a doctor or scientist. Dia, Imina, and Yashi met in an exploration site that was controlled by Decipients in North Macadamia. After taking control over it, Yashi noticed that his seal would appear and start to glow when around Imina. And so the 3 of them linked up. Knowing that they can trust each other, Imina would help Yashi with anything he can only learn from her or needs help with something that far exceeds what he and Dia could do by themselves. This friendship causes Dia and Yashi to leave Ensign, after introducing them to Imina. With no bad strings attached, they would still visit from time to time, including Imina. 4 years after leaving Ensign, capturing Decipients, learning magic, and attending an academy, Yashi believed it was finally time to attack the head of the Dark Army, also known as Dephoria, the Demon King himself, Lark Korosi. Yashi has only ever seen the Demon King once in live action, but was bombarded by Decipients and had to fall back, nearly dying in the process. Yashi kept this plan only to himself, Dia, and Imuna. They would be the only 3 going to the Demon King's castle, located in Darku Maru. The island is surrounded by hundreds of miles of ocean. The closest other landmasses will be a recently captured island named Yato. Lark renamed the island to Darku Yaru after taking complete control over it. Imina would carefully teleport Dia and Yashi to darken without causing any alarms. After succeeding, the two would carefully navigate through the harsh terrain. They make it to Lark's castle unnoticed and unattended. Being in his unbelievably massive castle for the first time, it takes them a while before they find Lark's throne room. Obviously shocked by their arrival without notice, Lark becomes immediately angry. The three of them begin to fight soon after a minor dialogue. After Yashi's current state of power as the 7th generation hero, his power already levels with the records he had on the 6th generation Heron. Maybe this power gap will help him in his major battle. Chapter 1 starts at the end of this battle.